So I'm shooting this video because a whole bunch of people have been asking, how do I get started with Tyranids? What should I buy? Things of that nature. What's good, what's competitive, all that. Alright, so the Tyranid Codex has just been released. Prior to the Codex, this was the start collecting box. It featured a Tyrant with all of its accessories, 10 gargoyles, and 3 warriors. This wasn't a great getting started kit under the index, but I actually feel like it's a superior getting started kit to the new one, which is the Trigon, the Broodlord, and 8 Gene Stealers since the Codex has been released. Hive Tyrants with wings, also known as Flyrants, are incredibly powerful. They can deep strike in. Gargoyles, they can also deep strike in. They got some shenanigans you can do with stratagems where you can shoot, dive in, attack melee, fall back, and do that. Warriors were kind of meh units under the index, and they've been buffed a little bit in the codex. But I mean, for basically a $0 model as a starting player, they're not a bad thing to include in your army. So if you can find these old start collecting boxes, buy 2 or 3 of these, because then you'll have 30 gargoyles, 9 warriors. I'd either build 2 flyrants and 1 swarm lord, or just straight up 3 flyrants, and that'll give you a pretty strong army that you can just kind of pick some monstrous creatures that look really cool. So if you can't find these, or you don't want to buy 3 start collecting boxes right away, I'd say buying one of these start collecting boxes is a pretty good deal. I just don't think it's worth buying multiples of this start collecting box, because the Broodlord, yeah, that's Broodlord, I believe. He's a good unit, but he's not something that stacks really well in your army. Like, I want a whole bunch of Gene Stealers, and I want a whole bunch of Trigons in my army. I think I'm going to run 3 of these and then 2 units of Gene Steal, so that's about 40 Gene Stealers and 3 of these. But I definitely don't want 3 Broodlords. I think 2 is tops of what you'd want for that. I'm sure someone in the comments section will tell me about their fucking 15 Broodlord army that wins them tournaments, but whatever. Then the other kind of option that a lot of people are talking about is, I don't know if it's called the Swarm box or the Army box or something like that. It's basically the start collecting box plus a bunch of Hormagaunts, Termagants, and Gargoyles. I wouldn't say that's a good value for someone that's just getting started into the hobby. You're not saving that much money, and I don't think any new army is going to want to run 10 Gargoyles, 14 Hormagaunts, 14 Termagants, and 8 Gene Stealers. I think it'd be better to have, 2 full of those units, like 30 Gargoyles and 20 Gene Stealers, or 30 Hormagaunts, 30 Termagants, than, those small amounts of that. So it's kind of a good value, but you're not saving that much money, and you're definitely going to be getting stuff that you don't really want right away anyway. Also, as like a new person coming into the hobby, it's not going to be fun assembling 50 tiny little models like Gene Stealers. Oh my god, Gene Stealers suck. If you buy this kit and you put the Gene Stealers together as the first thing you do, and you're like, man, I really suck at these models. No, Gene Stealers are just terrible units. 1 in 4 of their legs don't fit right. Their heads are just terrible decision, where the sprues connect on the base of the neck on both the body and the head, so it's very hard to get them to sit right. And because they are a really good unit, they're a really good unit for gameplay, but they just suck to put together. So when you're building like 20 or 40 of these little guys, you don't want to be using green stuff on every single neck joint So the heads sit a little wonky, and like I said, 1 in 4 of their legs sit wonky. So you feel like you're doing something wrong. And then also the or the Broodlord. I haven't built him yet, but I've looked at his model, and I don't think that's going to be a very satisfying one to build. I don't think it's going to be insanely complex. I don't think it's anything that should scare you off. But if it is something you mess up a little bit, don't get yourself down. Don't be like, oh man, this model building thing isn't for me. I have no idea about the Trigon, if he's going to be fun to build, hard to build, all that. I haven't built him yet. So, but I can go back to this box. The Warriors are a lot of fun to build. They're super easy. The Gargoyles are a blast when you're building them. Just put the wings on last. The instructions have you putting them on first, and that sucks. Just be aware that the wings are slotted to the different bodies, and the wings match up. So if you mess up gluing the bodies together, you're going to have wonky, swooping gargoyles. And then the Hive Tyrant, he's a lot of fun to do. Then last tip for getting started with Tyranids, look up some magnetizing tutorials. Because a lot of these models, like this big model here, comes with 3 variations, where the walking Hive Tyrant, the flying Hive Tyrant, and then the Swarm Lord. And all that is the arms change out, the heads change out, and then there's some wings and like the legs get swapped around. So magnetizing will make you feel like you're getting better value for your dollar, even though you're probably not going to be swapping them around all that much. And then the same thing with the Trigon is basically the head changes a little bit, and the claws on the side change a little bit for Trigon, Trigon Prime, and the Mawloc. But yeah, so any of these start collecting boxes are a good deal, and then just get 2 or 3 medium-sized monsters that you think look cool that you want to build. Ask around online about, hey, is this a good deal? And yeah, that's about it. All right, thanks. Bye.